Hello everyone and welcome to another video of Vivek Learns. So in this video we will be continuing solving the patterns problem which we had left at pattern 12 I think. And I think the last problem we solved was pattern 12. So yeah, let's continue solving these problems. Let's start with pattern 13 now. So we have to draw some kind of this pattern which is present here. We have it here. Okay. So if we observe this pattern carefully, we can see some kind of symmetry here, right? So this and this element is same. And if we divide it here, then this and this side is same. If we divide it here, this and this side is same. So, and we know there are some formulas for permutation and combination. So there are some formulas like, let's say, NC0 is always equals to 1, right? And NCN is also equal to 1. And we have the usual formula for NCR is equals to n factorial upon r factorial times n minus r factorial, right? Right. And so how will we be solving this? So if you see the first elements are 0, so ICJ. So this formula will be converted to ICJ, right? And so the value for I is 1 here, then it is 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. So this is how we'll be solving this problem, right? Like IC0 is 1, IC0 meaning 1C0 is 1, and 2C0 is also 1. And also the last elements that we have, like here, this will be zeroth element, zeroth row. This is the first row, and then this will be 1C1, which is also 1. So how will we find these elements, right? Let's discuss about that. So we have one more property here, so which says, and let's write it in terms of k now. Let's say NC instead of R, I have written k. NCK plus 1 is nothing but NCK times n minus k upon k plus 1. So if we want to find, let's say, this element, so this is the 0, 1, 2, second row, first element. So 2C1 will be nothing but 2C0, which is 2C0, which is 1 times n minus k, which is, what is n minus k? Uh, so 2, and this is 1 plus 1, right? 2 minus 1, which is 1, right? Upon k plus 1. What is k? K plus 1 is 2. So it will be 1 times n minus k. That is 2, 2 minus 1, 2 minus 0 upon 2, right? So let us try to solve that. 2C1 will be 2C0 times 2 minus 0 0 divided by k plus 1, which is 1, because this is value of k plus 1, right? So the equivalent value of this is 2C0 is 1 times 2 minus 0 is 2 divided by 1, which is nothing but 2. So this is how we get this element. So let's do it for this. So this is 3C2, right? 3C2, which will be equal to 3C0, 3C1, my bad. First we'll find 3C1 and then we'll find 3C2. So it will be 3C0, which is 1, times 3 minus 0. 3 minus 0 divided by 1. This is 1, right? Times, which is equal to 3. And how will we find 3C2? It is 3C1, which is 3. Like this is the value of 3C1, right? 3 times the value of 3C, this is 3 minus, this is I minus j, right? 3 minus 1 times divided by, what will be the value here? It will be 2, which is nothing but 3 2s are 6 by 2, which is 3, right? This is how we'll get all these values. So let's try to code this now. It's pattern 13. We have to enter a number. Then we have to iterate from that number. Let's say int. Let's say ICJ, right? And then what will you have the value here? ICJ plus 1 is equal to ICJ times n minus r, meaning I minus j. So we'll be iterating from, right? We'll be iterating from, for the outer loop we have to iterate till num, and for this, yeah, this is right. I minus j divided by, okay, we have to do j plus 1, right? Right. And then we have to do ICJ plus 1. So we don't have to have the variable count here. We just print it. Let's say we print it for 5. Oops, oops, the value is 1, right? Of ICG. Okay, so we are not getting the desired value. So let's see where we are wrong. For ICG, we are getting the desired pattern, which is expected, right? We are just not getting the desired value. So this will be 0C0. So we'll have to print 1 star here. So this will go inside, and then It has to start with 1, right? Um, Not sure. So this is 0 which is getting printed as 1. Mm, if we start it from 1, then we have this won't be printed. 0 is nothing but 1. Okay. Mm, so we are not able to have the first iteration. That's what the issue is. The first value itself is not being printed. Uh, what do we do? Oh, I see j plus 1. I can see that this formula is right. So do we need to print ICJ here, or so it's, let's say if we print ICJ here and we equate ICJ is equals to FE j plus 1, because that's what we want, right? For the next iteration, we are not we are not replacing the value for the previous loop. Let's try to run it once. For input phi, let's beautify it a bit. Yeah, we are getting the desired result. Let's say for 6, yes, we are getting the desired result. So this was kind of a tricky one. Like, you'll have to know these formulas to solve this problem, right? So the hint that we got was that by looking at the pattern, we figure out that there is some kind of symmetry here. Like this is symmetrical if we divide this and this. If we divide from here, this part and this part is symmetrical. Divide from here, this and this part is symmetrical. Then we found NC0 is 1 as well as NCN is 1. And we know the formula for NCR, which is n factorial upon r factorial times n minus r factorial. Like this is the factorial. And then how do we calculate n, like the further elements? So if we know the previous one, like NCK times n minus k upon k plus 1. So that is what we used here to solve, like these are the formulas that we used here to solve this problem. So let's try to solve the next one, which is this. So you are given a number n, you have to write code to print its multiplication tables up to 10 for a given format. So if we are given 3, then we have to print something like this. So we can do that easily. Let me print. So we'll be starting from pattern 14, right? We'll be starting from num, from 0 to num. So we'll have to print till 10, right? Less than equal to 10 then, right? And what do we have to do? We have to print the number which is num plus times. plus I is equals to num times I. Right, I hope this works because we'll have to print till 10, right? So we enter a number and we'll get it stable, let's say for 7. Yeah, so this is the desired output that we want. Let's go to the next part for problem 15. So this is the pattern that we want, and here the condition is n is odd. So let's try to print this pattern first, right? So I'll try to print the stars first. Like we have to print 1, 2, 2 spaces, then 1 star, and then 1 space, 1 star. That is how I'll approach this. Or the other ways, we can have 1 star first, then 3 stars first, and then 5 stars, right? So that is the second approach that we can have to print the stars. So let's try to print the pattern with stars first. Right. That will be num, and we'll have another for loop, which is nothing but from. Okay, we'll have to think the condition now. So we'll have to print the stars first. So we'll go from, let's say it is for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 by 2. 5 by 2 is 0, 1, 2. We'll print till num by 2 first. Num by 2, right? And this will be 0 equals to num by 2. And for the jth condition, we'll print I 2 into I plus 1. How does that formula sound? So 2 into I is 0 plus 1. So for the first one, it will be 0 plus 1, which is 1. For the second is 2 times 1, 1 plus 1. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1, 3, and so on. Let's try to print a star here with tab. I'm printing it separately because we will want to replace this sometime or the other, right? Oops, 54. Even though it is 54, it should not print. Okay, we haven't printed the spaces. So to print the spaces, what do we do? So we'll start from num by 2 and then we'll continue, right? Let me copy this. For int j is equals to 0, j is less than, and let's see, num by 2 minus I, right? Because we'll have to decrease the count every time. So how will it work? Num by 2 is first 2. 2 minus 0 will print 0, 1 stars, right? Yep. Space. We'll print slash t. That's what we have done, right? we have not got the desired output. This is the desired one, but okay. Yeah. So this is the upper part. Okay. We have to input 4, right? We have to input an odd number, not 4. This is for 4, 5, and this, let me have another for 4. Yep. Right. And now we can focus on the other part. Or what we can do is that we can have one part sorted first and then go for the other. But let's solve the lower part first and then come back here. So how do we solve the lower part? Right. So we'll start from one space, then we will give two spaces and three spaces and so on till num by 2. Start from 1 to less I less than equals to. So we'll get one space for the first time, then second, then third, right? Then what do we have to do? Then we have to print stars. How do we print stars? So for the first one, we'll have to print 2 stars, then 1 star, right? Like we can, do we have a formula for that? Again, can we derive one? For the first row, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, right? So I cannot think of any formula. This row will be replicated down here, right? So how do we find a formula for that? So it's fine, right? We won't waste any time finding a formula. We can do a simple approach, like we can have these stars printed here and then so on. So that, how do we print that? So this is num by 2. We'll have them printed here, right? Num by 2 minus I, because we are decrementing every time. So let's try to see that, like this half of the, like this half won't be printed down, but only this half will be replicated down. That's the output that we want now. Yeah, we do get that output. Now we will have to print the other output. So to print that, what we'll have to do is, we want this output at this, but we want to one less than that. So if we do one less, so what will happen is, for num by 2, which is 2, 5 by 2 is 2 minus I is 0. 5, 2 minus 0 is 2 minus 1. Okay, so no, let's go over that logic again. This is num by 2, which is 5 by 2 is 2 minus 0 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1, so it will print for 0, and this won't work, right? Mm, if we do this, it will print for 0, I'm not sure, 0, 1, right? So how did it print here? So it will start from 0, then 5 minus 0. 5 by 2 is 2 minus 0. So it will print 0, 1, and then 2 stars. 5 by 2. Oh, okay, so this is 7, right? 7 by 2 is 7 by 2. It's 3, right? So if we do that logic again, I'm messing this up, but never mind. So 7 by 2 is 3. 3 minus 0. 3 minus 0 is 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. So it will be from 0 and 1. So hopefully this pattern works. Let me save it and run it once again. Yeah, we do get the pyramid that we required. So how do we print the numbers? So if we see for the first one, we can print 1, for the second one we can print 2, third one we can print 3, and so on. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Yeah, so we can try to print that one, like we can have one number initialized here, or we can use I here, right? Can have something like plus plus I, right? But we have to translate that value down. So I think it's better that what did we do? It was printing okay a while ago. Okay, we'll have to do I plus 1 because this will be affected, right? So we can either print I or we can print I plus 1. Let me run that. Yeah, so we do get that output here. So now what we have to do is that we have to increment I till num by 2 and then we have to decrement it. Like that's what we want. Increment till mid, then decrement. So we are incrementing till here and then decrementing. So we'll have to have some kind of condition here. If J is greater than mid, right? Oh, J is less than mid. Then what do we have to do? We have to increment. Mid is nothing but num by 2, right? Else what we have to do? Less than, how will it be translated, right? So 3 plus 1 for the first time, then 3 plus 2 for the first time, then 3 plus 3 for the second time. Mhm. This won't work, right? J is less than equals, let's say. Then every time we are doing I plus 1, and let's say if we have I plus 1 minus j, I plus 1 plus j, so this will do j is equals to 0. Let's say if we do I plus j, let's try to do this. How will it work? So here it is I of 0, 1, 2, and j is I of j is the same, right? And we'll have this incremented here, and then this incremented here again, right? And for the next one, we'll have what do we have? Values of 0, 1, 2. I will be 2 and j will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So what will we want here? We'll want 3, 3, 3. Then we'll start incrementing, right? 4 here as well. So at least this condition will look fine. Let's think about the other condition. Let's check if this is working fine for now. Okay. Okay, we are starting from 1, 2. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it what we want? We'll want 1 here, right? I plus 1 we do, but that will give us a, let's see what that gives. 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. Then we don't want to go here, but we are going there. J is less than num by 2. How did it go there? I plus 1 plus j. Okay, j is less than num by 2. Which is this condition, right? All these conditions, not these. But how is it incrementing it? Not sure about that. It's printing these numbers as well, which it shouldn't. Okay, so what we can do is that we can have some kind of variable here. Let's say int val. It starts with 0, right? And I can have this val declared up or in the for loop here. Right. Then what we can do is for I less than j, can have val plus plus. What if we have something like that? So for I less than j less than num by 2, which is this condition right here. So j is 0 here, 0. Like 0 is less than num by 2, then 1 is less than num by 2. Okay, so this condition won't work, that's what I'm thinking. But then I by 2. I think this will work because see I is 2 here. What if 2 by 2 1? And 2 by 2 is I is 1 here, so 1 by 2 is 0. It will print only for the 0th element. No, this won't work. Hmm. How do we solve this? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what we want, right? So let's try to print this first. Have a trial and error method. So what if we have plus plus val? So we have 1, 2, 3, and then we want 4 here. So we'll have this condition has been violated basically. So we need to have some other condition here. So what is num by 2? It's 7 by 2 is 3. 3. But value that we have here, we have to do half of that. So if we calculate this here, then we'll have the desired output, I think. 7, yes, 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the 3 have to increase here, right? 2, 3, and then it again becomes 2. Yep. 4, 5, and then 4, 5, 6. Let's print it for 5 so that we can verify once. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this decreases and then increases. So we'll have to have an else condition which decreases it. Prints minus minus val. So let's see. Yep, it's increasing till here and then decreasing, then again increasing again. Let's try to print it for 5 so that 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3. That's what our output is, right? So let me format this. So if we have val declared here, we cannot reuse it in the next one, right? So what we can do is we can have it declared here instead of a local scope. So what becomes of val here becomes 3 here. Then now what we have to do is val minus minus. Then again we'll have to start. Then what we have to do, we have to print space first and then plus plus val. So we'll have to print till the half, right? 2 plus 3 and then we have to decrease it. So we'll have the same kind of condition here, but for this condition, right? How did we get this? We don't want this, right? Okay, so what does this print? This just prints the plus one, right? So we don't need to have this, right? If we directly have this, I think it will be fine because this prints this part, right? What we have here, this part, right? Then we can have, yes, I think this will work now. Let's try it for 7. Okay, but 4, 5, 6, 5, 4. And then what do we want? We want to decrease it, right? Like it was increasing here, but we want to decrease it, right? hmm That's what we want. So what we can have is some kind of val minus minus, right? So it's 4 here, 7, 6, 5, 4, and then there's the we have to decrease it first. So we can print plus plus val here. What will it give? It will give 3, 4, 5. then minus minus val will give, it will print this output, right? Which is present here, like we are doing a minus and plus. But let's try to run this. Okay, we are getting 3, 4, 5, and then 5 again. So if we don't want that, what if we do 3, 4, 5, 4? We want 4 here, right? 4 and then 3 here, right? Then we'll want to do again plus plus. So how do we achieve it? For the first one we got 4, then we had this val minus minus which gave us 3, and then we printed val plus plus, which is 3, then 4, then 5. So once this is printed, the value of val is 6. So we can do val minus minus here once. Then we can do minus minus. Yep. Try to print this 3, 4, 5, 4, 3. Then again 3 will come here. Is it? So we'll have to do val minus minus here as well before ending the loop. Have to improvise accordingly. Let's say for 7, 3, 4, 5, then it's increasing again, then yep, 2, 3, 2, like we have this similar pattern now. Yeah, so this was all for this video. In the next video we'll be continue solving some more questions of PepCoding level 1 patterns. Let's have a look at the next question. So in the next video we'll be solving this pattern. So see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.